Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. For those who don't know me, my name is Jake and I'm currently serving on active duty in the United States Air Force. I'm stationed at Minot Air Force Base currently, and next year I'm looking to move and I'm looking to buy a home, which is why I'm researching and exploring the idea of using a VA loan. And in this video, I want this to kind of be an all-in-one for everything you need to know to get started with the VA loan process with the Department of Veteran Affairs. First thing I have to tell you is you're going to find a lot of articles and YouTube videos about the VA loan, and most of those are from people trying to make money off of you, sell you something. Yes, they're good people, they're trying to help you, but they're still for-profit businesses. If at any point you are confused or have questions in the VA home loan process, then call the VA. Contact the VA home loan representative by calling the number 877-827-3702. This is the final authority on all information related to the VA loan. Now first, who is eligible for the VA loan? If you're currently serving on active duty and you've been on active duty for longer than 90 continuous days, then you're immediately eligible for the VA loan benefits. If you've served in the National Guards or Reserves for 6 years, you are eligible. And if you're the surviving spouse of a veteran who has passed away, you might also be eligible. Go on the VA's website to determine your own eligibility if you think your circumstances are unique. And what is the VA loan? Why is it so great? Well, the VA loan is the government guaranteeing your loan should you default on your mortgage with a private lender, up to 25% of the home value. What does that mean? The government is not giving you a loan. You still have to partner with a private bank to secure a mortgage. What the government is doing is they are promising the private bank that if you get foreclosed on, if you stop paying your mortgage and you lose your home, they will cover 25% of the home value in the foreclosure process. What does all that mean? Once again, if you buy a $200,000 home and then for whatever reason you can't pay your mortgage and you lose your home, then the government is going to cut the private bank a check $50,000. If you had a conventional mortgage and you stop paying it and you get foreclosed on, you would lose the equity in the home and then the bank has to take possession of the home. Banks don't want to do this, by the way, but if they have to, they will. And what they recover is the equity that you put as a down payment. Now, the VA loan is zero money down for a down payment. So it's the federal government basically guaranteeing these private lenders the equity of up to 25%. Once again, this makes you a less risky borrower. Banks are going to talk to you and treat you like you're somebody coming to them with a 25% down payment on a home. So here's the breakdown and the facts. Once again, no money down is required. You can put money down if you'd like. It would lower your monthly payments and how much you would pay over the lifetime of the loan. You also don't need private mortgage insurance. This can cost you, $80 to $100 a month, so you're saving $1,000 a year for the life of the loan. And what private mortgage insurance is for people who don't have that 20% down payment. They have to pay this to cover the costs of other people. It's an insurance policy, so other people who default on their mortgage. There is no limit on the loan amount with the VA. Now, if you want to buy a $4 million home in the Hollywood Hills, you still have to meet the income requirements. So the VA doesn't have a loan limit, but a private bank, your mortgage lender, might. So it's a little bit complicated there. There also is easier loan qualifications. Because the bank is treating you like somebody coming with a 25% down payment, your credit worthiness and credit history can be easier for you to qualify for the loan. Additionally, you should be getting favorable lending terms. Now, I'm going to put a caution there. We're going to come back to this. You should be getting favorable lending terms. And then finally, you can get help from the VA should you become in financial trouble. If you fall behind on your mortgage payments, you can call the VA. They can work with you and your mortgage lender to assist you. Next thing you need to know is that the VA loan is for your primary residence. This should be a house that you're living in, so you can't use the VA loan for rental properties. However, it can be a duplex, a triplex, or a fourplex. As long as you're living in one of the units, you can rent out the others. Additionally, the VA is going to want to inspect and assess the home because they want to make sure that it's a safe and fairly priced home for you, the buyer. The VA can also require sellers to fix something that's wrong before you move in. Otherwise, the seller might have to reduce the home price for you to factor in those repairs. Additionally, if you want, you can partner with a private contractor for renovations prior to moving in. So maybe the septic tank needs to be replaced, or you want to redo the kitchen. You can partner with a contractor and roll that into your VA loan amount. So what are the downsides of the VA loan? Well, the biggest one is the funding fee, and this is what everyone talks about. So there is a one-time fee you have to pay, which basically supports the whole program. And disabled veterans are exempt, Purple Heart recipients are exempt, surviving spouses are exempt. Once again, check the VA website if your situation is unique. And how will you pay this fee? Well, you can either pay the full fee at your closing costs, or you can include the fee into your loan amount and finance it over time. Once again, guaranteeing that this truly is zero money down for you. How much is the fee? Well, it depends on if this is your first time using the VA loan or if it's a subsequent time. It also depends on how much money you're putting down. So if it's zero money down, that would be less than 5%. The VA funding fee is going to be 2.3%. Now, if you have 10% or more, but not the full 20, then it's going to be 1.4. If you have more than 20% for a down payment, then you might actually be better off with just a conventional loan. The strength of the VA loan really is, there are protections, but people do it for that zero money down or less than 20% down to avoid PMI. If you're buying a $200,000 home, 2.3% of that is $4,600. What does that cost you over the life of the loan? Well, if your mortgage amount is $200,000, interest rate 2.5%, then it's 30-year fixed rate mortgage. Then over the life of the loan, $284,000. If you roll that VA fee into the mortgage amount, it gets you up to $291. So only a difference of $6,543. Over a 30-year period, you're barely going to feel that. Now, in the VA loan process, you're going to eventually reach the point of closing costs, and the VA requires that the seller must pay these closing costs, sometimes called seller's concessions. So commission for the real estate professionals, the brokerage fee, the buyer broker fee, and a termite inspection. However, the concessions cannot exceed 4%. Other fees you might be incurred. These are all negotiable with the seller. You can definitely work with your realtor to see if you have to cover these or if the seller has to cover these. Okay, now let's talk about the lenders. What are the lenders going to do? These are the private banks that you're actually getting your mortgage from. They are going to check your credit, and your credit doesn't have to be the best, but if you don't make payments on your credit cards or your car loan, or you're in collection or default already, then you're probably not going to get approved by a mortgage lender, even with the VA loan giving favorable terms. But lenders can be flexible if your credit isn't the best. But once again, you must qualify for the loan by proof of income. You might also have to show your debt to income ratio. So these are all factors that will go into what the bank will approve you for a mortgage. Now, I need to give you a strong warning and a strong caution that people you talk to trying to help you with a VA loan might not have your best interest at heart. Yes, these are people who might have served. They might be veterans themselves, or they might have family members who are veterans. But that doesn't mean anything. You should always look at the numbers. You should always do your own math to determine if you're getting a good rate and a good loan. So when VA loan partners are telling you we are VA recommended, that is a lie. The VA is a government service, government website. They do not recommend any private lenders. The VA will never recommend somebody. If they also say we are VA loan experts, well, that doesn't mean anything. Any bank, any private bank can process a VA loan. So just because they do a lot of VA loans doesn't mean it's worth the additional cost if they're not giving you a favorable rate. So ideally, you should be rate shopping. You should go to several lenders, several banks, and you should tell them, hey, I want to do a VA loan. What can I get approved for? And ask for a competitive rate quote. This is their job. This is what they do all day, every day. So you shouldn't feel uncomfortable speaking to them. So realtors, lenders, you're going to want to talk to several during this whole process. And why do I say this? It's because if you go to two different banks, they're going to give you two different interest rates. It doesn't matter if you have the same credit history, same income amount, same VA loan. One bank might give you an interest rate of 2.5% on your mortgage. Another bank might give you 2.9. Well, what is the difference over the life of the loan of a 2.5 versus 2.9? It's $15,000. I know going into banks can be intimidating and uncomfortable, and maybe that first bank representative that you spoke to made you feel good about yourself, but for $15,000, just go into a second or third bank, tell them what you're doing, ask for a competitive rate quote. You will be surprised at what you get, and it might save you a lot of money. So let's go through the entire VA loan process step by step. What's going to happen here? Step one is proving eligibility with the VA. And if you're serving on active duty, you're going to have to get a statement of service from your commander. Talk to your leadership, tell them what you're doing. They can give you a form with your name, social security number, when you joined the service, how long you've been in service, because once again, 90 days is a requirement. For veterans, you're going to need your DD-214 and a Certificate of Eligibility. Google how to do this, and you can get this on the VA's website. Step two in the process is to get a pre-approval letter from your mortgage lender. After you've been pre-approved, your bank will give you a letter saying what your buying power is and communicating that you are a serious buyer when you go talk to realtors. Realtors want to know, are you actually going to be able to put in an offer on this house? And just because you have that pre-approval letter from one bank doesn't mean you can't get a second one or a third one from other banks. You have not committed to anything at this point. So just having that letter doesn't commit you to buying or working with that mortgage lender. And step three is the fun process. This is what everyone wants to do. You can actually start house hunting. And you can meet with several realtors. Their services are going to be free. They're trying to sell you homes, so they want you to show up and tour houses. You can also attend open houses. And it's just a good process to see as many homes as you can. I know you don't want to feel like you're wasting anyone's time or feel like you're wasting your time, but knowing what you don't want in a home is just as important as knowing what you do want. And ideally, you're going to be living in this place for a long time, if not the rest of your life. So definitely try to see as many houses as you can. Step four is to make an offer on the home. And this is a complicated process. It all depends on what local market you're in. But when you make the offer with the realtor, you're going to want to negotiate the closing costs before you sign anything. So the VA has their requirements of what should be covered by the seller. Everything else on that list, this is the point where you need to talk about it with the realtor and say, what are we as the buyer covering and what is the seller covering? And once you have an offer accepted, you are officially under contract. It can still fall apart at this process, but you're pretty well set on buying this house at this part. And this leads to the underwriting process, where the VA is going to have to send one of their local affiliates or local contractors out to appraise the home. And they're going to make sure that the home is safe, sound, and sanitary. They're also going to make sure that the home is fair value. They don't want to guarantee a home that, for example, is $100,000 overpriced. So the VA has to basically approve it at this point. But if everything is as it should be, you should be good. It's at this point in the process that you're going to be waiting the longest amount of time. There's going to be a lot of texting back and forth between the realtor or the realtor's associates. It's important that whenever you get an email or a text, always respond as soon as possible. There's a sequence of events occurring with the realtor, and if they're held up by you as the buyer or by the seller for any reason, they basically just pause the process. So if you're trying to get into this home as quickly as possible, be prompt with your responses so that you can help the realtor close out the property. And that is step 6, closing out the property. You're going to be signing a lot of documents, lots and lots of documents, but congratulations, at this point you should be a homeowner. And the last topic we need to cover is, should you be buying a home? I'm currently 36 and I've never owned a home. That doesn't mean I've never wanted to buy a home. For me, it just never financially or logistically made sense to buy a home. So you should definitely be asking yourself, going through the questions or the process, is this in my best financial interest to purchase a home as opposed to renting? You always have to factor in cost of buying and selling if you're moving. Moving is expensive. Property taxes, home upkeep and maintenance, and then just home ownership responsibility. That house is yours. There is no site supervisor or landlord. You are responsible for anything that goes wrong with that property. There you have it, guys. I hope you learned something about the VA loan and the VA loan process. If you found this video helpful, consider sharing it with somebody. Share it with your unit or whatever. I'm trying to just make this for people's benefits. If you have any comments or questions, leave me one down below. I'll try to help you if I can. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, consider subscribing. I talk about military issues as well as finance and investing topics. And until the next video, guys, take care.